Going live through the airwaves.
Water, electricity is in politics. Women are marginalized.
As the democratic space gets broader and political activities become more intense, with many Nigerians angling for relevance and agitating for their voices to be heard, Magic 102.9 FM Aba has taken a giant leap by providing the needed platform that captures the essence of your individual, corporate, and most importantly, your political needs.
You see, the government is trying, but it's just this same security.
Yes, showcase your aspirations, opinions, and more as a politician, political party, government, community, organization, association, and more. Join Magic 102.9 FM Aba on People and Politics, Mondays to Fridays at 9 a.m. For inquiries and participation, please call 0903-282-3717. People and Politics, providing the alternative voice within the democratic space.
All right, it was a woman who was in charge of the EFCC by the name Farida Waziri. It was in her time that I first heard of the application of, the prerogative of mercy called plea bargaining. No matter the magnitude of your offense or the money you have stolen from the Commonwealth of Nigeria. Yes, at least in her time we heard about it. Subsequently, we never heard. Those who stole the nation blind not only bestrode the nation like colossuses, but of course, they were winning elections, some making laws for us. We were told along the line also by a man known as Adams Oshomole that all you need to do is join them in their party, and you know the party he belongs to. Yes, prerogative of mercy is okay, but at what point do we or we don't apply it? Do we allow it to, the whims of Mr. President alone, or maybe the governor at the state level? Well, there is a boiling issue on ground today, particularly where it involves convicted drug individuals and then, of course, murderers. Yes, let's call a spade a spade. Well, we'll let you into all of that amongst other things. But again, at what point can we say the power of the president, the governor, is enough? Or is it possible that some people stole some names into the list and he didn't have time to look at it? We have had situations where posthumously we had people being given awards, people being appointed, and many others. Anyway, it's People and Politics on a Monday, and we're back. Very serious matters to look at, Ben. My name is Bonnie Onogu.
My name is Ben Watu. Well, apart from the debate around the presidential pardon list, there are lots of other stories to take a look at this morning, one of which is the president being in Rome for a meeting that centers on around security. We'll also be taking a look at the education sector, where the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has declared a 2-week warning strike. The federal government, as expected, has reacted, saying they would implement the no work, no pay policy. We also understand that there's a divide in ASU. Remember, under Muhammadu Buhari, we had what we now know today as KONUA. KONUA has rejected the strike declared by ASU. We'll be making another stop in Enugu State, where the governor, Peter Mbah, is set to join the APC this week, just as the APC faction led by Ugochukwu Agbala has kicked against the dissolution of the state EXCO. And the last story this morning is coming out of Abia State, where the police have rescued 8 infants and 10 children in Abia. Check these on our Facebook page, facebook.com/MagicFMNG. We are streaming live on various platforms: Instagram at Magic FM Nigeria, YouTube at Magic FM Aba. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a follow on Instagram.
President Bola Tinubu has arrived Rome, the capital of Italy, to participate in the Aqaba Process Heads of State and Government level meeting. President Tinubu is in Rome for the Aqaba process meeting. Of course, the meeting is a counter-terrorism initiative launched by King Abdullah II of Jordan in 2015. It is co-chaired by the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan and the Italian government, which focuses on security in West Africa. The meeting, which will begin on October 14, will bring together heads of state and government, senior intelligence and military officials from African countries, and representatives of intergovernmental and non-governmental organizations to discuss the evolving security challenges in West Africa. It also recognizes the complex security challenges confronting West Africa, including the expansion of terrorist networks, the growing crime-terror nexus, and the increasing overlap between land-based terrorism in the Sahel and the maritime piracy in the Gulf of Guinea. According to a statement, participants at the meeting will exchange assessments of the current security landscape in West Africa and foster collaboration between regional and international partners to address cross-border security challenges. The meeting will discuss ideas on how to coordinate efforts to combat online radicalization and disrupt digital networks that facilitate terrorist propaganda and recruitment. Accompanying the President are the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Bianca Ojukwu, Minister of Defense, Mohamed Badaru, National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, Mohammed, and other government officials.
Well, there is nothing wrong with holding summits or meetings that would provide solution to the security issues that we have in Nigeria. The only issue that I have with this is the fact that when Europeans want to discuss issues that have to do with Africa, when today we're talking about the Arabs, Jordan is an Arabic country. We understand that the Jordanian government and the Italian government are collaborating to put this meeting together. The question is, why can't such a meeting happen in Africa? We're talking about West Africa. Does it mean that there is no part of West Africa that is good enough to host this meeting, since what will be discussed is something that will directly affect the West Africans? So it beats my imagination why we would want to talk about a group of people and we don't deem it fit to hold such conversation within the territory of the people. Rather, we would take it to another part of the world that practically has nothing directly to do with that. It takes me back to the days of Olusegun Obasanjo as the president of this country between 1999 and 2007. I recall Nigeria, Abuja to be precise, hosted many international conferences. The Queen came, we hosted the US President then, George Bush. So what happened? How did we deteriorate to the level whereby we cannot host events or summits that have to do with ourselves, our lives, our future? Rather, these things will be taken out, discussed, and whatever resolutions are reached, they'll be pushed down our throat. Some persons may want to argue that our leaders see this as an opportunity for them to travel out, the Esther Code and what have you. But I want to believe that a President Bola Tinubu is bigger than the Esther Code, given his record. So going forward, I'm hoping and believing that a day would come that African leaders would start asserting themselves. There's no way today you would tell the US president that you want to talk about the United States in Nigeria, and the United States president will fly to Abuja for a summit that has to do with his country. No, such meetings would take place in the United States. So I'm looking forward to that day where we would have African leaders that would be so assertive, that would be so influential, like we saw in the days of Olusegun Obasanjo.
Well, Ben, you've said it all, but if the white people named us Africa, just like they named us Nigeria, and I want to believe so many African countries today,
even our names,
after partitioning us to midwife issues or initiatives about Nigeria. So when you now hear of presidents and other big men from Africa, Nigeria in particular, going to London or Paris because they have a mosquito bite. You shouldn't be surprised. This is just one of them. Again, we throw it to the back, the doorstep of King Abdullah II. Fine, you sponsored it since 2015. It's an initiative in collaboration with Italy. So Italy is coming again just to have a name there. So I can excuse Jordan because they co-sponsored in the days of Obasanjo. When shall we begin to have, we had Chogom then, we have other things.
That's right.
Very many of them. When shall we begin to have? It's the same reason the children of the big men will not be in your universities here. They would rather be in Sudan, even Benin Republic, rather than be in Nigerian universities, and ensure that.
Reacting to that list is the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who has accused President Bola Tinubu of abusing the presidential power of mercy by granting pardons and clemency to 175 people, saying the move undermined the sanctity of justice and risk encouraging lawlessness. In a statement via his ex-handle on Sunday, Atiku said the prerogative of mercy was meant to temper justice with compassion, but had been trivialized by the latest round of pardons. Atiku criticized the inclusion of people convicted of serious offenses, saying the clemency list weakens public faith in the criminal justice system and emboldens criminality. He argued that clemency must not be allowed to become complicit with crime and diminish justice. Tinubu, you may recall, on Thursday, granted presidential pardons to 175 persons, including the late nationalist Herbert Macaulay, late Major General Maman Vasa, and Miriam Sanda, who was sentenced to death for murdering her husband.
Well, when about 2 or 3 weeks ago, in the lead up to our 65th, dependent anniversary, you may want to call it independence, fine and good. I think a lot of Nigerians said that it was just a scratch on the surface, that many more were coming. When the Ogoni 4 this time round, added to the previous 4, were granted posthumous pardon. In this case, it's too large. But in a country where everything is politicized and everything must have a geopolitical spread, I think that if such pardon should be granted, just like a lot of people, not just Atiku Abubakar, civil society organizations, major stakeholders, people of conscience have been talking, it shouldn't be so widespread. Particularly of mention is that of Miriam Sanda, a woman who had an altercation with the husband. The husband had left home. A peacemaker came. It was settled, and the husband went to sleep. I mean, this is not the kind of story we'd like to tell, but I think some of us have watched horror movies. We've heard fairy tales that depict stuff like this, but this is not a fairy tale. Only for the young man to be sleeping, and then in cold blood he was murdered by someone he called the wife. If the altercation had resulted in this fatality, one would have said, okay, maybe in the heat of rage and all that. But to think that the young man had left home, returned, somebody followed, made peace, and then this happened. And how long was that? And then you grant him pardon to her? We hear of drug convicts, not addicts, convicts. How did it happen? Yes, prerogative of mercy, presidential pardon. Does it need any consultation with the legislature, for instance? I don't know. I may need to ask, because this fell on me rather too hard. I couldn't make any research on that. Or it is just a presidential fiat on it. The question remains that if it has started this way, then we may be seeing it every other year, just like we have the national awards. Of the people pardoned, I want to ask, how many ordinary Nigerians were part of it? If you check out the list, you'll discover that a majority of those who were pardoned were high class or high net worth. Well, if they had been convicted, I call them criminal individuals. There were people at the lower level, lower rung of society who committed that kind of serious, crimes, who have been sentenced as well. And I tell you one thing: when the poor is sentenced, the execution of the sentence is rapid rather than that of the rich. Well, this will leave room for a whole lot of debate in the long run, but wait and see. Because if you can, in one fell swoop, pardon as many as 175, it only leaves room for more in just 2 years of your administration, because there are many more convicts. But what is the nature of conviction? Don't forget that Atiku did not, forget the fact that, yes, prerogative of mercy is about compassion, isn't it? Which I think every person should. But what is the magnitude of the offense? What is the degree of the offense? If somebody has been sentenced to life imprisonment, for instance, 2 years after that, not 10 years imprisonment, or not 20, life imprisonment, 2 years after you're granting, a presidential pardon. A pardon means that it has been wiped out. No be so, except I don't understand it. It is not on record anymore. Except Ben, you probably have to clear this, or maybe somebody out there. But when you say there's a pardon, it means the person
a clean slate.
Is a clean slate all over again. The person is just like any other person who has not even stolen a Bible before. I do not understand though. But as we all know, the presidency or the president, governors, and we always add the governors anyway, they are too powerful. Much, much powerful, more than the constitution of the country.
Well, I think you've taken the words out of my mouth. If you take a look at the list, how many children of, or how many people who belong to the lower class of the society have their names on that list? The number 175 wets the ground ahead of 2027 election. You take a look at Lawan Farouk, the former House of Rep members, who was caught on tape demanding $500,000 of bribe from Otedola. So we can go on and mention some influential names on that list. But to be fair to the president, we also have people or criminals from other parts of the country who made that list. I think Atiku's argument is, why pardon people with such records? Murderers, drug pushers, people whose actions have denigrated the society. But if Atiku should take his time to go through the constitution did not say the president cannot pardon someone who has been convicted of murder. And if you take a look at the reasons the president gave, at least through his spokesperson, he said most of them had acquired better educational qualifications while in prison. They attended the National Open University of Nigeria. Some of them now have better skills. And the third reason was that they have turned a new leaf. So, for me, it is neither here nor there. If the president is doing this out of genuine concern, so be it. But if this is all about politics, then he's sending a wrong message that people can afford to commit crimes and get away with it. I'm not condemning the whole list. There are people on that list who genuinely deserve to be forgiven. For instance, the General Vasa. We all know what led to his death via the firing squad. So there are people on that list like Albert Macaulay. If you go down in history, you would know why the colonial masters convicted him. So, in as much as we are condemning the list, we should make it clear that, hey, there are certain persons who deserve the pardon, and there are people who should have no reasons being pardoned. Well, apart from political exigencies.
Yes, I think those condemning actually drew lines between what should and what shouldn't be based on their convictions. If someone had a life sentence, for instance, and you commute it to, say, 20 years to run concurrently, if somebody was sentenced to death and you commute it, not even to life imprisonment this time, but maybe 30, 40 years, 50 years to run concurrently, and along the line, you understand. But when, I don't know, I think that is what people are saying basically. But for those who committed, matters like Lawals of this. No, Miriam, that one stands out. I think that seems to be the most painful one.
That's
that
right.
A lot of people are pointing out. And like I tried to, with heavy heart narrate this morning, the way it happened, the manner it happened. Anyway, I also want to think that, since Mr. President still have about 1 year plus, right, of the last 2 years of his tenure now, he should also begin to scratch, the other places where the ordinary Nigerians who may have committed offenses, who also have, upgraded themselves, have turned, brand new leaves, are being jailed anywhere in Nigeria. It's the duty of the governors now to, begin to comb them out because they deserve it too. The reason I'm saying this is most of the people involved there are noted names, known names. There are ordinary Nigerians as well, all right, who have been jailed circumstantially. I must tell you this, all right. I want to say congratulations to them. If you look at the Bartholomew Wars and the rest of this world that Buhari had to kill when he was, head of state. Now, granting Mamman Vatsa pardon, is it everybody in that group?
Or is it just
Mamman Vatsa? That is one thing we have to look at again. The sentiment about Vatsa was that he came from the same ethnic group with Babangida, they were classmates, coursemates.
Was his best man.
Who was his best man. They were very close, family, friends. That was the sentiment. But others that were also, shot by firing squad, whether it was phantom coup or real, were they also pardoned? Because if for whatever reason he was not guilty, he shouldn't have been, killed in the first place. And if he can't be pardoned, then all other persons involved in that coup, whether or wedant, as Jebediah would say, should be pardoned as well. So if that is the need for this consultation. Again, you look at the Council of States, Ben. Who constitute this Council of State? Former heads of state, I think state governors are there and all that. We are in a country where wherever the president today is, previous presidents don't have a say. They don't have any power. And everything would have been, pre-planned, pre-arranged.
Most of them actually stayed away from the last Council of State.
Pre-arranged. And whatever the president says, even in the arms of government that should check him, must run through. Well, we can shout it tomorrow. But I don't think there will be a reversal anymore. But I think it is wholesale wrong and it's not wholesale right. This is our country. All right, so we go on a break now. We'll be right back. Stay with us. It's People and Politics.
In the kitchen game, there are players and then Agba Ballers, MVP, Player of the Year, 10-0, no rival. Become an Agba Baller with the new improved Maggi chicken flavor, made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric to bring out your top game in the kitchen. Elevate the taste of your everyday dishes with delicious rich chicken flavor. Oh yeah, let's go.
New Maggi chicken flavor, my game changer.
The energy from breakfast doesn't last my child the whole day. By halftime, your champ will be low on energy. That's why break time is the right time to refuel with the nourishing Milo drink.
Keep your champ in the game with a Milo drink in their lunchbox. It's made from the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and contains iron and calcium. Milo drink has a great taste your champs will love and a nourishing energy to help them make the most of every day. Milo, energy to go further. Milo!
Stay fresh, stay dry with Nivea Dry. No bad smell, it protects from sweat and it lasts well.
Nivea Dry don't get 25 ml pack. Make you not go fire.
The price no they tear pocket. Make you stay fresh, stay dry with Nivea Dry.
Nivea Dry deodorant will help you maintain your steez. It only for 25 ml small size for boys and girls with sabi.
Fedobin iron and care, the good for your body, shey you yeah. teta gbasi ike ma nwere onwe gị site n'ọgwụ ọbara bụ Ferobin nke nwere iron. Ọ bụ maka mụ na gị ahụ gbasiri ike na uche zuru oke. Ferobin kwụ gị n'azụ kpọmkwem. Ferobin o nwere iron na folic acid, nsogbu adịghịzi. Ọ dị ọnụ ala ma dịkwa mfe nweta. Ferobin nke mmiri na-amasịkwa ụmụaka kwụrụ chim ma nwee obiọma ụbọchị niile. Ferobin bụ ọkaibe. Ọ bụ ụlọ ọrụ Fidsin Healthcare PLC mepụtara Ferobin. Ị ga-enweta ya n'ụlọ ahịa ọgwụ ọbụla n'ala anyị bụ Nigeria. Ferobin, ezigbo ọgwụ ọbara bụ ọkaibe.
Neighbor, abeg you get change. I wan give customer.
I no get to. Get First Money Merchant POS. Let customers pay with cards and never miss a sale. Fast payments, instant settlement, and secure transactions. Visit any First Bank branch or sign up on www.firstbanknigeria.com/get your POS to get yours today. First Bank, you first.
Start your children's day with a great taste of Ovaltine, enriched with multi-nourishment, calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
One day now, one day. Walk no go rest day. Say you still fit go on holiday. Make you no get complain. Retire in grand style. Make it worth your while. Choose a partner that won't stress you out.
See, everybody with him own wahala. See, everybody with him own wahala. Every day get him own. Every day get him own kitty and kata and kitty and kata. And person suppose they ready to face am because now that time you fit go the next level. Now you make I know they carry my breakfast play. No be joke o. My peak breakfast when carry plenty nutrients and energy where I need to take tranga every day and face any kind kitty every day and face any kind kitty
Every day na better day to take ginger with pick.
An immediate past governor of Ebonyi State, His Excellency Engineer David Umahi, to represent him at this event of immense significance. We celebrate a governor whose leadership is driven by vision, intentionality, and divine grace. Dr. Alex Oti has demonstrated that governance, when guided by purpose and sincerity, can truly transform lives. Today, Aba has become a city once again connected and accessible from Port Harcourt, Ekotebeni, Enugu, and Owerri. Major arteries that define our commercial heartbeat are being reconstructed, renewed, and revitalized. Some are completed, others are ongoing, yet they all bear testimony to a leader who has chosen to do the needful with integrity and courage. To my dear supporters, friends, and fans, I urge us all to remain steadfast in our prayers for our governor and to continue applying the great works that are unfolding across Abia. Let us keep our eyes on the ball and not be swayed by distractions. The opposition has its role to play, but ours is to stand firmly behind the truth, to promote the good works, and to uphold the vision that is already transforming our state. Let us continue to speak of progress, not politics, of unity, not division, and of gratitude, not criticism. Together, let us lift up our governor, our government, and our beloved Abia State before God. May the Almighty continue to bless Dr. Alex Choma Oti, strengthen his hands for greater works, and prosper our land of Abia. A heartfelt message from Representative Chimobi Ihanyichukwu Ebisike Chimobi Ndaba.
All right, we're back. Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU has announced a total and comprehensive 2-week warning strike affecting all public universities across Nigeria. ASU's national president Chris Piuna made the announcement during a press conference held on Sunday at the University of Abuja. Professor Piuna stated that there had been no meaningful progress to prevent the union from moving forward with its planned industrial action. He explained that the 14-day notice issued on September 28, 2025 had passed. He also stated that all ASU branches across the country had been directed to commence a full withdrawal of their services beginning at midnight today, Monday, October 13, 2025. According to Piuna, the strike would be both total and comprehensive, and in line with the resolution reached at the union's most recent National Executive Council NEC meeting.
Well,
another one again.
The federal government has reacted, insisting that the no work, no pay policy remains an existing labor law. The government stated that it will be guided by this law should academic activities be disrupted in the nation's universities. In a statement signed by the Director of Press and Public Relations at the Federal Ministry of Education, Folashade Boriowo, the government reaffirmed that while it continues to demonstrate goodwill and flexibility, it will not abdicate its responsibility to uphold fairness and accountability in the use of public resources. The statement, however, reassured Nigerian students, parents, and the public that the federal government remained firmly committed to maintaining industrial harmony within the tertiary education system. Meanwhile, the education minister said the federal government did everything within its powers to avert the strike. Let's take a listen to him.
We reached out. We met federal government tertiary institution negotiation team. Met with them for several hours on Friday. Senator Teju Osho, who was deputizing for Alhaji Ali Ahmed, was in constant communication with ASU president all through Saturday and Sunday. I was also working the phone with Senator Osho, checking with him. He reached out multiple times with calls and tests. He did not get any response back. We are doing everything to avert any strike. We reached out to them multiple times on Saturday and Sunday. No response back. We did not get any response back. Then the ASU president now tested 5 minutes before 5 p.m., about a few minutes before 5 p.m. on Sunday evening, that it will get back to Senator Teju Osho. By the time it got back to Senator Teju Osho, they released a statement that they were going on strike. And the senator said, let me connect the minister with you. He said, no, please don't connect the minister.
Okay, that's the education minister, Alao Sadier, talking about efforts that his ministry made to ensure that the strike did not happen. I think we've said everything that needs to be said about this federal government and ASU strike. If you count the number of years we have lost in the education sector to strike, you'll be shocked that between 1999 and 2025, you'll be shocked at the amount of years we have lost. The truth is, there is no justification that the education minister, there is no explanation that he will try to give this morning. Remember, we talked about this last week, Monday. The ASU president said they had issued an ultimatum to the federal government since September. The federal government kept, I beg your pardon, yes, in September, 2 weeks in September, the federal government kept dilly-dallying, buying time, playing ASU around as usual, like we predicted that nothing would happen until the 11th hour. That is when calls will start flying here. You start sending message to the ASU president for the strike not to happen. Whereas this could have been averted. As we speak, our president is in Rome. If Nigeria was a country where education enjoys a premium position, the president can afford to tell those people, please, I have fire back home, I need to go sort it out. But because education has been trivialized, the premium that is supposed to be attached to education has vanished. People no longer care. It's like an everyday thing, a normal thing. Okay, as with this strike, now old thing now, and they move on without realizing the impact of this strike on the students. Because at the end of the day, it is the students that bear the brunt. The lecturers forget what the federal government is saying today. By the time ASU presses federal government's neck, the no work, no policy would vanish. We saw that with Muhammadu Buhari. 8 months he withheld their salaries. Eventually, Tinubu paid those salaries. So, we should always talk about the impact of this action on the students, both on the part of ASU and on the part of the federal government. We cannot continue like this. A student that is supposed to graduate in 4 years' time would end up spending 5, sometimes even 6 years, to no fault of his. The reason why you go to Benin Republic today, you go to Togo, you see Nigerians struggling, trying to cope with the French language there, attending universities that are not even up to what we have here in the country.
Well, Ben, for me, because we've always spoken, about this, and predictably so, it is manifesting. I honestly would have, just shut up. Now, on Saturday and Sunday, you were walking the telephone between Senator Teju Osho, who was representing Alhaji Yayale, and then 5 minutes to 5 or some minutes to 5, you are not too sure, and then he sent a message, and it was to be connected to the minister, who is supposed to be a god somewhere. And then these people, prior to the 14 days they gave in on the 28th of September,
the first one last 28 September,
had been writing letters, had been making representations and presentations, nothing. Then 14 days prior to yesterday, even Saturday, nothing. And then this morning we're hearing an explanation from a minister who never really cared. Is it that within the 14 days you had set, an avenue for you people to meet, and they said no? But on the other hand, can we have a situation where the ministers are not playing God? And then when we talk about health and security, yes, they have known that this is the way to go. They have cajoled the judiciary to come up with the idea of no work, no pay. But that is akin to beating a child and saying, don't cry. Okay, if there is no consequence for my actions, or there is a greater consequence that will affect me because of my actions, why would I, contemplate the action in the first place? And I think that is what the law is about. That is to say, there is no need, by the way, for anything called strike. And why do we have strikes? We have strikes because certain demands are not met, which are relevant. And in the case of ASU, it is not a yesterday thing. It's come a long way. It has transcended many governments. And the payment we said President Tinubu made were payments that were incurred in the days of his predecessor, not under his regime.
That's right.
And if it was not relevant, why did he have to pay? And so you wake up one day and talk about no pay because of no work. Oh, this people just woke up one day. These are supposed to be academic, juggernauts, if you ask me, even though most of them are not anyway. That they can wake up any day and say, let's go on strike without following due process. How demonstrable are the intentions of government? How transparent are the, activities and actions of government? These lecturers are not asking for their money for their pocket only. This even about the academic environment. And I've mentioned it even earlier today, that because of the import of their demands, which are not about their money in their pockets alone, government prior to now, to the Tinubu regime, had set up needs assessment panels that had gone round, the universities in the country to know about their particular needs, to actually assess, verify what ASU was talking about. So it's a pity. We are talking ASU here because it's ASU. The other we're talking about Pangasen.
And in arrears, they started screaming that them that did not go to strike, they don't get yes, blah blah blah. So the federal government is just deploying the divide and rule tactics.
Kuno people. Anyway, let's go on another break. We'll surely be back. Stay with us.
La la la
Mama ghọtara ije. Gịnị ka ị na-eme?
Ana m emeri ụtụtụ etinyere milik ụmụaka na-etolite etolite Big 456 nke ụmụaka ya bụ Big 456 n'olu bekee.
Nri ụtụtụ etinyere Big 456 milik ụmụaka na-etolite etolite kwa.
No. O nwere mgbakwunye DHA iji kwado maka mmepe ụbụrụ. Big 456 jupụtara na calcium, vitamin D, protein dị ezigbo mma iji mee ka ụmụ gị na-etolite na-agbasi ike.
Ọ masịrị m. Aga m ebido na-edozi ahụ ụmụ m site n'inye ha Big 456 milik ụmụaka na-etolite.
Start your children's day with a great taste of Ovaltine, enriched with multi-nourishment, calcium, malt, and vitamin B12 to support learning and playtime. Ovaltine, smart choice for smart kids.
Oh, the only detergent that keeps me bright and fresh. I know they waste time to wash. I thought my clothes have the best, so why go less? You can wash a lot with a little Viva. Use Viva. Don't waste your time, don't waste your money. Use Viva. Viva, oh Viva. I love my Viva. Don't need no other. I love my Viva forever. Viva, oh Viva. I love my Viva. Don't need.
Keystone Mega Million giveaway. Cash is calling, cash is calling. Keep on winning, keep on winning. Win more. Ooh, millions waiting.
From now to December 31st, 2025, you could be one of the 565 lucky winners in the Keystone Mega Milli giveaway. Simply carry out 10 transactions or more on any Keystone Bank channel for weekly cash wins or save 10,000 naira or more for a month to qualify for the mega draw where millionaires are made. No account yet? Download the Key mobile app from your app store and open one today for your share of millions. T's and C's apply. Keystone Bank. We grow together.
The member that represented Urban North and South Federal Constituency in the National Assembly.
And from Eunice Ezekiel, female, 35 years of age. Eunice is a female, right? Number 1, Foursquare, Umokalika, Aba South Local Government Area. Others are Unen Nakalu, female, 60 years of Osisioma Local Government Area. Gideon Esther, female, also 25 years of age, is of Amalek by Amencha, 7 of Aba. Obiegunam Vom is also a female, 65 years of age, from Abia here as well. Ishimiri Police Divisional Headquarters, that a young woman from Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, where sometime last month, September, came to Aba with her 2 children, male and female, lured by a young man under the guise of marriage. On arrival in Aba, the man asked her to Abia State Command. This is intensive.
Indeed, and quite appalling.
I can't believe this.
That in this little Aba, there are people who have taken it upon themselves to cause sorrow and heartbreak for their fellow human beings, all in the name of making money. Sometimes I sit back and I wonder what goes on in the minds of these people. Do they have their own children? Do they go to extra miles or the extra length to protect their children? When they do this, do they think about the trauma that the parents of these children that they still go through? Well, I must commend the police for this. This is the kind of things we expect from the police. The CP Issa Danladi, since he took over, we've noticed this new form of life in the police force or in the police command in Abia State. So we need more of such diligent investigation and arrest. Every now and then, Bonnie,
you begin to wonder, and it tells the kind of families we come from, the kind of families we're raising, because the fact remains that if we don't worship money and we see a young child, like I've seen, whether they are skits or they are real, A young child who just left secondary school arrives home and it's my birthday and is presenting a Lexus to me. For crying out loud, I will shout, how did you get the money? But we live in homes now where people see children who come with what ordinarily they have not earned but stolen, and they applaud them.
And go for Thanksgiving.
In fact, they go for Thanksgiving.
That's right.
These young men and women so mentioned here, and the ring is between the, Obingwa, Isialangwasao, Osisioma, and you understand? The ring is between these 3 or 4 local governments. The good thing I have seen here is that the police have been able to name them, not before that I would say 4 suspects were arrested. In this case, they've been named, they fell short of naming their families. And this is a good one, so that we can come back and recreate those family values we used to know. Well, this is just the Aba end. These things are going on everywhere. And I suspect that, such a place would be on Aba-Owerri Road. Oh, that is an urban area now. You would rather think of all those, native names that are called around the local governments.
That's right.
But again, policing is not about the urban center. You have to go into the rural areas to know exactly what is happening. Both our morals, our culture, our values, our traditions, everything is being affected. Is that bad?
Indeed. Remember last year how a mother lost her children?
4 of them.
4 of them. There's another one also. Someone came to the compound and took 2 of her children. So people just need to be vigilant. It's as simple as that. Let's talk politics now. The Enugu State Governor, Peter Mba, is set to dump the People's Democratic Party, PDP, for the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, this week. All his appointees. Well, those members of the ESCO are not taking this line down. They are kicking, saying that the APC cannot unilaterally dissolve them.
Anyway, that has brought about a crisis, obviously, and it's following the dissolution of the State Executive Committee of the party, the APC, and following the dissolution of the State Executive Committee, which of course was led by Ugochukwu, describing it as unlawful, unconstitutional, null and void. In a statement issued in Enugu at the weekend and signed by Agbala and other aggrieved members, the dissolved executive argued that only the Zonal Executive Committee or the National Executive Committee had the constitutional authority to initiate disciplinary measures or dissolve a state executive committee. They maintained that the NWC's decision flagrantly contravenes the constitution of the party and undermined the principles of fairness, equity, and due process. However, the Agbala-led executive insisted that its members were duly elected and in accordance with the provisions of the APC Constitution 2022 as amended, and were not informed of any misconduct or infraction warranting their dissolution. Well, they cited relevant portions of their constitution and all that, but for me, I think, like we often say, politicians are so predictable in this country. The defection of is a strong man in PDP, except that you can't trust, politicians 100%. If it doesn't favor him, when Diri left, if at all, leaves, I beg your pardon, if at all he is leaving, then he may just as well join, because it is self first in Nigerian politics and not service.
Indeed. Well, I think what the APC is doing in Enugu, that's talking about the national leadership of the party, is to avoid what happened in Delta State, where they were able to capture a governor, a sitting governor, in the person of Oboreveri. He decamped, but along the line, the family members of the party in that state were not happy with that decision. They felt they were sidelined, they weren't consulted, they weren't carried along when that decision was taken. The reason why today Oboreveri does not have absolute control of the APC structure. And that's the reason why they decided to dissolve the EXCO.
Just day before yesterday, I was sitting in Congress with some, like minds, and one of us did say that with the performance of Umba in 2 years plus in Enugu, even if he joins the least known party, if he continues, that he might just win his second term without necessarily, joining another party. And so all he needed was consolidate. But again, the mind of the politician is running to the east, whereas ordinary people like us, our minds are running to the west. But we'll sit and watch, Ben.
Definitely.
It will be an interesting case if Peter Mba will actually join the APC. But I think it's a done deal
It
from
is.
the information
So
we're getting.
far, he has not denied it.
Whoa. It's all right.
Okay. 0916-988-1029. You can send your WhatsApp messages through 0907-677-1029. Do not forget we're streaming live on facebook.com/Magic FMNG, YouTube Magic FM Aba, Instagram at Magic FM Nigeria. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my information minister of Magic FM, Ben and Bonnie.
Thank you for joining us. Your name and location.
Along the missionary evangelist Ngozi Thomas. Let the man from Enugu go to court. Let him go to court. That is the language of Nigeria. Go to court.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Your name and location.
My name is Matthew Grace. He's calling from Sarava Jalizu.
Go ahead.
Yeah, welcome. I want to say something about our politicians. Seriously, the thing is almost terrible. It's almost, I don't know how to put it. Promising people is not the work. Do your needful today, aside that to the children in the land. Okay, look at it. You come to part of northern Nigeria. Look at how people there. Some of the languages in northern Nigeria, they are not recognized as Nigeria. If you go to southeast, they will call you. Maybe they will call you Onyausa, which means that you are a Christian. So you have to come back to PDP. The guy I know, is something wrong for him to go to the next party. Maybe next party, anyway, I know, will not be easy for him to get next party. Maybe it will be PDP back. Because PDP is a cooker of Tinubu. So thank you so much. Let me just be in PDP, please.
All right. Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Yes, go ahead. Your name and location.
Bonnie, you know one thing with the ASU. ASU is one of the contributors of INEC Fort. Some of the members. So I think it's a reproach to them. Let them put ASU this thing, which participating on INEC election, that give them bad news. Now, to present forgiveness to the business, APC says through this man says if you come to APC, your sin is forgiven. So we look ahead. Some of the
Okay, Dede, thank you very much. The truth is, those who were pardoned, most of them are not of the APC. Let's also not forget that some of them are of blessed memory. They are late. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Your name and location.
My name is Elvis. I'm calling from Abu.
Go ahead, Elvis.
Yeah. I want to ask this issue of there is a reason why in every country they have like 3 arms of government. For other arms to be able to checkmate one particular arm. Because one of the things I have discovered in this life is this. If you are the kind of person that likes to do things in the right way, it will be difficult for you to succeed
in the midst of people that doesn't want to do things in the right way. For you to, so you people should just encourage people to go and fetch their PVC and use it as a weapon for revolution. The only weapon for revolution, we need a complete new Nigeria. We are fed up with all this circle. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. Your name and location.
My name is Naman and I'm calling you from shopping center this morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I learned that my governor, Peter Mbai, take to dump PDP to APC. But he should know that Gotikwa Abara is not a pushover person. He's a very strong politician we have in Enugu State, as far as Enugu State is concerned. So the best thing they have to do is to settle that man amicably so that he has access to control this party. But if you fail to do so, you find it very difficult to control Gotikwa Abara because Gotikwa has suffered a lot politically in Enugu State. So I think this is the only chance. Since they are considered to remove my brother through TV and all that, but all the same. So let them settle with Gotikwa Abara, not to kangaroo dissolving of a central executive, APC executive in Enugu State. That's the only way out. That's my take this morning. Thank you.
Of mercy. Why did he pardon even Kid Mercy? Why did he pardon even kidnappers, murderers, and economic saboteurs? Of all those he pardoned, how many have thanked him except the lawmaker? You said, Ben, you know as well as I do that an ace of a community will send for his slave when he wants to talk to him or even his subjects. How then do you expect our slave masters to come to us? My main problem is that all these travels are mere junketings and jamborees. This is coming from Ngoma Jonah Wagu from Umunze and Unuku Autonomous Community. Thank you. The president granting pardon to well-known killers but left the young man who was sentenced to death for killing a herdsman in self-defense says a lot about the kind of government we have in this country. Okay, God bless the good people of Asa. Thank you. Let's take a look at the Facebook page. Joe Jaja Maria Elechi. The disheartening part of these children traffickers is that when they sell or kill these children, you cannot see them with huge amount, rather peanuts like 200,000 naira or even less. And they still have the mind to cause the joy of such parents and lives of innocent children. God is alive, and such unscrupulous elements will never go unpunished. Chibuzo Diemesekbemu, when two elephants fight, it is the grass that will suffer. I guess you're making reference to the ASU strike. Dr. Mrs. Ma Olibera from Owerri, to neglect the education of our children is not just to look for trouble, but to guarantee trouble. This threat of no work, no pay is unacceptable. Why can't the government settle this ASU issue once and for all? Is the government no longer continuum? If they go on strike, our children will suffer because when two elephants fight, the grass suffers. Mazi Chidi Ozigi. Governors are putting to APC not out of desire but out of fear. Fear of influence of the powers that be over INEC and the judiciary. Even if you win landslide in the next election, fear, nothing more. Mazi Zubi Badweke from Okborenyi, Aro, Okborenyi. Enugu State Governor to join APC this week as Ugochukwu led EXCO kicks. PDP has lost all the states from the southeast. Let them go and rest. They really dealt with the people, especially Abians. 24 years of fruitless results. Well, that's another angle we did not really commend. Okay, his commitment during privatization in this country is beyond murder and drug. A section of the country was only worried about the missing or exclusion of MNK's name from the list. Pardon or no pardon is the prerogative of Mr. President. On this recent presidential pardon to some certain individuals, Mr. President is questionable and raises dust. Nnamdi Kanu ought to have been released, was not in the in the list. Okay, I guess that's what you meant. This is coming from Stephen C. Achonwa, watching from London. Well, that's about the size of the program this morning. We want to thank you for being part of the program. Tomorrow is another day, Tuesday's edition. Do well to join us. My name is Ben Watu. Have yourself a great day.
The energy from breakfast doesn't last my child the whole day. By halftime, your champ will be low on energy. That's why break time is the right time to refuel with the nourishing Milo drink.
Keep your champ in the game with a Milo drink in their lunchbox. It's made from the goodness of malt, milk, cocoa, and contains iron and calcium. Milo drink has a great taste your champs will love and a nourishing energy to help them make the most of every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! My country people, Easy Buy don turn 7 years old and they do massive discount to all the customers wey dey Naija. From October 1st to October 31st, 2025, Easy Buy dey do 1 billion naira national discount super bonanza. You fit